This podcast is meant to inform, entertain, and occasionally stir the pot in a good way. The opinions expressed are our own, shaped by personal experience and thoughtful research. They may not reflect everyone's views, and we may even offend you. We're just a couple of humans doing our best to advocate, educate, and elevate, one episode at a time. Yours truly, The Bark. P.S. Please don't sue us.
All right. Hey, Ken.
Hi, how are you?
I am warm. I think I forgot how to dress for warm weather.
We're still in that phase where it's chilly in the morning. I don't want to get out of bed.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah. There's frost on my table outside.
And then by midday, you're like, oh my gosh, why not wear a coat today?
It's that weird time of year also where, like, I don't know about your house, but it's colder in my house than it is outside.
Yes.
So I'm like, do I put my heat on and open the window? Or how do I do this?
Right.
Very confusing. But we are back. We are Law Saving Pause. This is our podcast, The Bark. And episode 17, we're approaching 20. Pretty proud of ourselves. And we are at the Awaken House again. We've just kind of moved around a little bit. So the Awaken House in Spring Hill, Tennessee. We love being here.
I like all the different backdrops that we're having fun with, right?
Yeah, it's so versatile. It makes us feel professional. We're not at all. So, Candy and I were talking and we were like, all right, what can this episode be about? Because we've been really hammering home like legislation and breeding, all of the things that you just want to like shake your hands at. Yeah. And then Candy had this wonderful suggestion. And what was that, Candy?
Just talk about the dogs. Just the how smart they are, the monster.
Yeah, you would have said our suggestion is that.
I did?
Well, the way you worded it was better. You're like, let's talk about something funny.
Oh, yes. Yes. That was it. You're right. Let's have fun. Yes.
No, we just feel like we just needed an episode to be lighthearted. So, I mean, granted, everything else you said, yes. But when you told me, Megan, let's just talk about something funny, I was like, yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And I'll admit, I tried to go to Reddit and find some stories that,
oh, what it?
Gosh, the stuff on Reddit. I had to clean my eyes afterward,
Yeah. I don't, and I think it went public, like Reddit. That's where I used to watch. I don't even know if I should say this out loud. Well, I can't. Because they don't allow it anymore. But I used to watch all of my illegal NFL streams on Reddit until I tired of it. Get anymore. Touche, Reddit. How funny. Well, yeah. So, this episode we do exactly, we don't have a super specific theme, but I think we've each maybe compiled some things we want to talk about that we just saw like online somewhere, or we have story of our own to share that we're just like, what on earth?
Right.
Right. Yeah. So that's kind of what we're going with now. So I think we're just gonna jump right in because it's gonna be we're going to try to keep this a little bit of a shorter of an episode too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So Candy, I had pulled something recently.
Okay.
It was a list that said this would be a crime if you were a human. And it lists all these characteristics that dogs have. And so I'm just going to list them because I watch a lot of true crime. I think you do too. And I listened to some of these, or I read some of this list, and I'm like, yep, saw that in a Lifetime movie, saw that in a Lifetime. Like, really? So I'm gonna go through this one.
Sure.
All right. So the first one, watching you shower.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Your dog do that?
I have a foster that is getting comfortable with the rest of the home. Like she stays in one area, and we're trying to stretch her to come and see the rest of it. And now I've started to go and take a shower, and the doors are open to where all the dogs in my house right now are not chewers. They're potty trained. So I don't have to do baby gates and all this. They all get along. So now she's stretching her limits.
And now she's a peeping Tom.
I know and then now I'll leave, and then the other two dogs will follow me, and then I'll be in the shower, and all of a sudden she'll come in, she'll look at me, and she's like, ugh, and then she'll leave. A few minutes later, she comes in again, and I'm like, what? It's gosh, I gotta go.
Like, super creepy if someone does that to you and they're human.
Yeah.
If it's a dog, it's just
Like, on her TikTok.
yeah, oh,
And until she turns up her nose and walks out.
yeah. All right, number 2, breaking into your bedroom because you closed the door.
Yes.
Yeah,
I used to have a cat that would reach her paw under the door and shake it violently until you would hurry. And she wasn't a cute cat, but she was
yeah.
there and you better. Oh,
Does it? Like a horror movie,
yeah.
like with dog,
Yeah.
cat. Oh my god, for real.
Not the musical.
No, not that. Um, Shoving their head between you and your partner.
Yes. And my current foster will shove her body between me and my dog too.
Uh-huh.
She's trying to do that.
Territorial.
So I have to run her because she's tried to sniff at him and the other foster before, and she's learned.
Yeah.
But yeah, they yeah,
They get jealous when you're
it's like a jealous.
giving attention. Totally. See, this is when I first read that last one, I was thinking of this next one. Sniffing guests' crotches.
Oh god,
Which is the most, in my opinion, like when you're out and a dog sniffs your crotch, it's like most, it's really awkward,
yes,
right?
yes,
Because you're like, is there something wrong?
yes. Like,
Yeah,
and dogs are so gross. Like it's not just like a little. They like
they are in there.
like they.
They're in there.
I don't know how to describe it,
Mhm.
but it's just like, dude, privacy,
Yeah.
boundaries, borders.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Boundaries.
Yeah.
I no.
There's a show on TLC about people's odd habits, and there's a young lady that has a similar odd habit, and it was like when I'm
See, she puts her face in people's crotches.
no, 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 no.
Oh.
She has a she likes to smell underwear. Okay, I'm just gonna leave it at that. There's more to it, but that I didn't watch the actual show. I saw the preview and I just wanted to scream.
This is, are you sure it's healthy?
It's TLC. It's TLC, and I was just like, oh, horrified. But you're right. We're just used to dogs being a little crude and like, hey, sniffing at us.
Yeah. Okay, well, reasons I don't watch TV.
Yeah.
All right, intense eye contact while you're eating. My dog was doing this last night. I was eating a bag of popcorn on the couch, and she's just sitting
Yeah.
daily. I mean, like she's going to kill me,
Yes.
you know?
Okay, I did read a story on Reddit. Oh, did I put it in here? Yes. I put it in here. Let me jump to it for us. Um, okay, I have it right here. This is from a contributor named Crispy Mongoose.
Okay, well, I have so many questions about that, but we'll
Yeah.
move on.
I don't know. But, all right. So he talks about his dog. I got him as a rescue when he was 2 years old. I don't know anything about his previous life, which is typical. Right?
Yeah.
But what I very quickly realized was that he had zero training. Okay. We know where that's going.
Okay.
Absolutely none. His first owners must have just left him to run wild. He wasn't a bad dog, but this naturally meant he was naughty. Whilst training was ongoing, I did a sort of mild timeout punishment where I put him in a separate room with a spare dog bed in it for 10 minutes or so. Okay, so if he does wrong, you got to go cool off. Timeout. Yeah. Okay. One day, I walked in to find him happily munching on my bacon sandwich that I put down a couple minutes earlier. He takes one look at me, then goes and puts himself in the timeout room, still eating my sandwich. He knew and not breaking eye contact for a minute. I'd never seen a bleep eating grin on a dog before. And I'm absolutely certain that he was thinking worse in his own dog logic way.
Oh,
I laughed my butt off. He's trained now and is an exceptionally
they know. They know. Oh my gosh, they're so manipulative.
yes. Oh, our dog, we've done the whole like stay out of the kitchen while we're cooking kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they'll just like sit on the edge and then they like scoot.
My dog, oh my gosh. So my older dog, Brady, I remember I dated a guy who, when Brady was over his house and he had 2 dogs. And at the time I had 2 dogs, and it used to drive him mental because Brady would just like get up from his place So we would command him to go to his place,
Yeah.
and he would get up as if he had like a purpose for getting up. And he would go over to the water bowl to make it look like he wanted water. And my boyfriend at the time was like, he's not actually drinking water. He's just making you think that he wants water. And I'm like, oh, look, he needs water. But and I noticed he does that. No.
Yeah.
I'm like, you jerk. Like I told you to get out of the kitchen. So you're gonna stay here and drink water to make me think that you need water.
It's exactly what that's kids when you're doing the bedtime training, like,
Yeah.
and they go in there, "But I need water, but I need to
Yeah.
get bath, but I don't."
Yeah. Seriously. Oh my gosh, gotta create those children. I'm just booked. I'm 100% kidding. 100% kidding.
Yeah. Yeah. What else?
Okay, the last one is screaming when you leave for 30 seconds.
The current foster, the latest one, the little one, she's amazing, she's adorable, her name is Willow Ember, and I call her Monkey because she just is always
Which has nothing to do with either of the first two what you said. Okay, just try to connect the dots here.
but she is like, when she first came, like, if you during her crate and left the room for, like, 2 seconds, it was just because and now that she's gotten used to things, she's always attached to you, and that's why I call her Monkey because she's always, like, following me.
Do monkeys follow people? Is that a thing?
Yeah, they like to, especially if you go to, like, places I don't know that I grew up in Miami, they had monkey chunk, and if you have monkey chunk, well, the monkeys are around you, and you're around and, yes, they will follow you, they will, monkeys are notorious for pickpocketing. Did you know that? You didn't know that?
No.
Yeah. Monkeys are pickpocketers, and yes, and anytime I sit down, here comes Willow, she's gotta, like, be right next to me, although I have a bacon sandwich.
Which again, it's so cute until you realize it's separation anxiety and it's actually
Yeah. Yeah.
not cute.
She's getting better though because, like I said, you used to put her in a crate for 2 seconds to go grab a glass of water. She would screech like a screaming child.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Now she's like, "What'd you do?"
Oh.
It just
Yeah, there's a lot of things with dogs that you think they're so cute and then
well, and that's okay, talking about fostering,
yeah.
like, don't you get so upset when they leave? Let me tell you, I recommend to everybody now that I've had the fostering experience, whenever somebody says they wanna adopt a dog, I'm always like, "Please foster to adopt."
Yeah.
Because I don't think people realize how many dogs like, yeah, you can find a dog that's pretty cool in your house,
Yeah.
but when you find the one that clicks,
Yeah.
then you know.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, you're doing something great for dogs, like
Yeah.
fostering, helping.
Right. It's such fun.
Right. Yeah. But out of all the dogs that I've fostered, there's probably only a handful that I would say would,
Yeah.
would really fit as my dog.
Yeah. Yeah. But you did it anyway. And that's the moral of the story. It's so selfless.
I probably, well, I mean that. I never own my own dog ever again. I'll probably just foster for the rest.
I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got another many, many years until I can even think about that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so that I mean, that was that list. I
Yeah.
just saw I don't know, anything stand out to you? No.
No, I think they're all spot on.
Yeah,
I will say that.
yeah,
They're all like,
and
okay,
if they were people, they would be really
did or
creepy.
on TLC.
Yeah, yes, yes. And actually this kind of brings me this is a good segue because Candy, I don't know if you saw, I put this in, into our, like, agenda for this
Right.
episode, and I don't know if you've given this any thought at all. I actually haven't, but if your pet was a celebrity, who would it be? Like, let's go with Tank,
Oh my gosh. Who would Tank be?
and let's describe Tank a little.
Okay. I know. And because you asked the question, his name has escaped me. Um, but I recently had a conversation with somebody about this person. So I'm gonna just quickly look up his name. So Tank is a big, buff, strong
Tank.
dude. Oh, Tank. Like, whenever people meet him and they see him, they're like, "What's his name?" And I'll tell them, they're like, "Oh, that's fitting." Okay, so that's what Tank looks like.
Yeah,
But Tank actually is a big softie. He's gotten into dog fights before, I think, because he gets scared of the other dog, even though
Well,
he's the Tank
yeah,
in the room.
yeah,
Um, he used to go to open daycare, and they told me that whenever the other dogs were getting fussed at, like they were doing something wrong, and the the people watching over the dog would fuss at him, Tank would immediately like, I didn't do it. And he would go, he didn't want to be in trouble. He didn't want to be part of the trouble. He would veer off and go his own way. He also tended to stay on his own. And I'll tell you one beautiful story about Tank that they told me one day is that Tank likes to chase shadows, like bird shadows. And
Well, does he know there's
I don't, I haven't asked. I haven't asked.
you got told people didn't tell you?
Like, in the middle of the summer, like, people will come over and Tank is face down and going, like, pouncing around.
Like, what's wrong with this
Yeah,
dog?
right. And they're like, "What's your dog doing?" And I'm like, well, he's chasing shadows." We had somebody come to our house to do some work on our house, and the gentleman, he's watching Tank. Tank will climb trees when he sees things, and he will get up there.
And if you would have saw this dog, you'd be like, how did that dog climb a
So
tree?
he was yes, so we're
Oh, yeah, and then I'm like, yes, you did bring him.
so Tank was on the show a few episodes back, a big white dog, but Tank will climb in the trees, and somebody was doing work on our home, and they saw Tank, and he's just like, "That dog is touched." That's what that's one thing. Then we or no,
Is that what they call it these days?
that dog is not right, or that dog something like that, and I was just like, "Oh, yeah." I just I so that's Tank. But anyway, going back to his time at his outdoor, group daycare, he would also he chases bird shadows, but also, like, bug shadows and everything, butterflies, things like that. He just and one day, they said that he walked up to a shrub that had a butterfly perched on it, and he just stayed there looking at the butterfly for a moment. And then he wandered off and came back with a toy. And I was like, "Wait, like, he was bringing the butterfly the toy?" And they're like, "That's what it looked like he wanted to play with." I don't know. But
Also, sidebar butterflies are so creepy.
why?
Don't ever take me to a butterfly garden. I will never meet you there.
Why?
They don't respect your boundaries. They float around you. They land on you. Like, I'm the only one in the world who does not like
Yeah, I think it would be jarring to have that talking, and if you respect like, if you don't wanna hurt them, we're like, "You can't touch."
yeah, what is
Yeah,
wrong?
yeah, I get it,
No, thank you.
but Tank is not afraid of them, and so that is Tank. So he is big and burly, but also soft and charming,
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm gonna say if he were a celebrity, he would be Dave Bautista. Who?
Wait, someone that I'm not too.
Okay. Dave Bautista has been in a lot of, great movies, and I'm forgetting there's one movie where he has a fish. He's like this big, strong guy trying to, help
You name some movies?
I'm I'm pulling it up.
Oh,
I
okay.
can't remember, the name of this movie.
This is the part where everyone gets a glimpse into how little I know about pop culture.
Well,
I used to be pretty good, but
you are our sports person. I
true.
I am the not sports person. But yeah, I so Dave Bautista, I'm trying to remember the name of the movie that I saw him in where he was guarding a little girl, but he had a little fish and the fish was blue and the fish was named Blueberry.
Oh,
And there was just a funny part where
is it a good movie?
it was a hilarious movie.
What?
And he teaches a little girl that because he's protecting her from getting hurt from bad people, blah blah blah.
Okay.
And he teaches her that the way to avoid an issue is to create a distraction. So later on, she's trying to get away from him, so she topples over the fish bowl,
Mhm.
and there goes Dave, big burly Dave Bautista, Blueberry. And I'm so talking about the fish while she is getting away. Oh, Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's why I don't watch this a lot. Yeah, I never would have guessed that. Okay.
You have to watch Guardians of
Okay, I guess
the
so.
He is hilarious. Yes, and there's several others. I can't tell off the top of my head which one of these was, with the little girl, but he is hilarious, and I also recently heard that he adopts dogs,
Aw.
he encourages adopting dogs, and he also flies his dogs around on a private jet if he can, but also because he does not wanna put his dogs in the cargo
Yeah, that's a tough
the belly of the beast, right?
Mhm.
So, he was in the news for, like, chartering a private jet. That way his dogs,
We should talk to him.
I I wouldn't he would have to meet.
You'd have to meet Tank.
Yeah.
Oh, that was good. I'm impressed that you came up with someone because, like, I've been trying to think. I don't know. I have 3 dogs, and I named them all after New England Patriots players, even though they have nothing to do with
No
Patriots.
personality that ties them?
No, not whatsoever.
Oh,
No.
that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. So I don't know, like, Brady, my love.
Yeah.
Gosh, he's 11. He's a horse. He's like a horse. He's friggin' like 90 pounds now. Well, he put on some winter weight.
It happens.
We all
It happens.
have. Yeah, and he acts like he's 3 months old, and then who else is just a scaredy cat? But she's so sweet, but she's scared of everything. And then Dola. Oh, well, everyone knows Dola. Everyone knows Dola. I don't know. Ugh, yeah, they're like the little rascals.
There's an NFL player named Dola?
Short for Amendola.
Oh,
Yeah, my friend helped me with that because I'm like, what do I name this dog? And it's a girl, and I don't know what to do. And yeah, so Danny Amendola is the football player. Dola for short.
you could have named her Danny, and there's, like, the female spell.
No, see, bye.
You have to, like they have to know.
And I had to do all last. No, actually, I didn't need to do all last names because my middle dog is Jules, and that's short for Julia. All right. Anyways, I am totally thinking out loud right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I'd have to give it more thought. I feel like they would be like characters from the Little Rascals, or like there would be some Seven Dwarf.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I'd figure it out. Um, yeah. So, oh Lord, Candy, I want to read this story to you.
Okay.
I don't believe in segues. It's
Okay.
gonna be on. No. Okay. So I actually thought of you when I read this story. That's like, what is Candy gonna think?
Uh-oh.
So there is a guy who met a girl on a dating website.
Okay.
And I guess they had a plan to go on a date, and then she got COVID, and so it had to get postponed. So in the meantime, they were like FaceTiming and talking, everything was kosher. I guess they had planned. So finally, they were able to meet up, and he meticulously planned this date that was like, okay, we'll go here. And then if it's going well, we can walk to go here. And,
Right.
thought about it a lot.
I do. You had time to
Yeah, it was great.
use
So
imagination.
the night of the date, she texted him saying, hey, you want to come over to my apartment? I have a surprise for you. And he's like, okay. By the way, I'm adding the voices. I read this story, but I'm putting in my own tone.
I love it.
But yeah, he's like, yeah, sure, let's see what it says. And so he went over, and she proceeded to show him 2 puppies that she rescued to foster.
Okay.
Right. And so she's like, yeah, I just got these dogs today. I think it would be fun if, like, we moved our date around and instead we took care of these dogs. So their date turned into them going to PetSmart to essentially buy things for these puppies.
Okay.
And then they get back to her apartment. And the thing is too, like he liked dogs. So he was like, okay, I guess I can do this. I can pivot. Get back. And the dog, so she has another dog at home who she failed to tell him was aggressive toward some males.
Oh God. Okay.
Yeah. So the dog, like, she lets the dog out, her dog out. He's growling at this guy. And then the puppies start pooping everywhere. She can smell the poop because she has like a covered ring. And then so she's like, can you help me pick up the dog poop? Like, she didn't even know they were pooping. He had to tell her they were pooping. She asked him to help pick up the poop. They ended up ordering, before all this happened, they ordered food in. And like, finally, he was like, I have to go.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, that's what
I know, no.
it's like creative. Let's do more. Let's make it a walking journey of
Yeah,
And she's like, let's pivot. Let's make it a puppy journey.
yeah,
And
yeah,
oh, adventure could seem to be a good match. But I draw the line
yeah.
on brow that. And
No, and then they said, so she washed off the dogs, like the puppies after they had
Right.
pooped. She was like cleaning them off. And then one of the puppies got really aroused by that and started humping up. Oh my God, out of here. And I was just like, you're right. I mean, the thing is, even if, I don't know, I feel like I wouldn't have posed it as "Hey, come over, I have a surprise." It would kinda be like, "Hey, here's what happened today. I ended up rescuing
Yeah.
this dog. Can we"
I would also wanna be dressed for dealing with puppies. You have
Hello,
dressed for
like, thanks for making us all look like crazy dog people, whoever this girl is.
yeah.
And I'm like, "Thanks."
Do we know if they ended up like,
No, they never went on a second date.
yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I was wondering, you know what? Pleasantly surprised by your reaction, Candy.
Right.
Because I don't know, one time, okay, because Candy and I have famously disagreed on this one thing. Do you remember when I
Okay.
first met you?
Yeah.
And we talked about would you date a guy who didn't fix his animals? Do you remember that?
Oh. Ah.
I feel like we disagreed on this.
What
Maybe you were joking.
I would need a reason.
Okay.
I think I would need a reason.
Yeah.
Like, the dog is too old.
Yeah. Yeah.
Didn't do it in time, and now that because at certain ages, just like humans, the risk of having a surgery goes up.
Yeah.
I think it's like around 8 years old, but I think that also depends on the pet,
Yeah.
and the health of the pet at the time. But so if it's something like that, or like I know people who are allergic to certain types of anesthesia,
Oh, so these are like legitimate reasons.
like legit reasons.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, they had an appointment last Tuesday and I missed it, so now I'm not going to do it at all. No, not like that. Like we need a legit why. Was I like, no, I date a guy who didn't?
No, who talked? And I think this story came up like on Reddit or something
Yeah,
where so and I remember you jokingly were like, "We'll stay away from that person."
yeah,
Something that is like, oh, I mean, I don't know,
yeah,
whatever. Like it's
yeah. A story where a woman posted online. She's like, how do I convince my boyfriend to fix his male dog because he also has he wants to get a neutered or an unfixed female.
oh
And
yeah,
he already had a dog that got pregnant, and the female died. And so he was going to set himself up for failure again.
yeah,
And my whole thing, and his whole thing was, I'm not going to take my dog's
manhood.
yeah. And I was like, I just wanted to tell her, lady, you know, if that's the level that you're dealing with, date somebody else because when it comes to your kid and like I don't know if you're putting religion in the mix or not putting religion,
Yeah,
like all the if that's the level of argument that he's putting forth and
yeah,
he was there was more to it. He wasn't listening to the vets saying the age of the dog,
yeah.
of the dog, the don't put the male and the female because you already had one like
Right.
he didn't even take that female to the vet. She slowly died giving.
So you got the whole, but that's
Yes.
a whole nother like
But I wanted to tell her, I'm like,
neglect.
don't even date this guy. He doesn't have the empathy to learn the lesson from watching a female die.
That's fair.
I'm
That's
out.
fair. Yeah,
I'm way out.
that makes sense. That was like indicative of maybe more problems
Oh yeah.
or bigger
Oh yeah.
problems.
Like
Yeah.
before you bring children
Yeah.
into the situation, those
Yeah.
moments where you're like, yeah, if it was somebody in your family, you'd be like, we need to talk.
Yeah. Yeah. And I said that's why, and maybe I was too hard on you,
No.
but maybe that's why I was like, oh, I wonder what she's gonna think of this story.
You but do you think it had anything to do with not fixing the dog?
Wait, what?
The puppies, because she got
Oh,
to foster,
yeah.
but it wasn't her dog's puppy.
No, 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 no. It was just these puppies that she decided to
Yeah.
rescue and foster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know where the non-neuter
Oh, no, it was because I was saying because you had asked me, why were you so curious about my response?" And it was because we had differed on
the other
the thing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that is why.
I got
We
it.
just went off on such a long tangent.
Yes,
So
yes.
you sorry you forgot. Sorry, no, I'm not sorry. You can be sorry. I'm not. That yeah. Katie, did you it looked like you had
Some
a
story
story. Yeah.
and some anecdotal, like, a lot about my fosters, some cute experiences. For example, my first foster, who is still so sweet. She was this chubby roly-poly of a dog, and, I mean, so dang sweet. I have pictures of her sitting behind our cat while our cat was eating her food because, the dog was waiting in line. That way, if whatever the cat didn't finish, because I don't know if you know, cats tend to eat like, you give them their food, and they tend to spread it out in the bowl a little bit as they eat down, and then they're so fussy, they don't eat what's around the side, and
No way, a cat was fussy. I don't believe you.
So she used to sit behind Nani, and I have pictures of her sitting hunched over with her like fat and just waiting for Nani to finish. That way she can go clean Nani's bowl. And I'm like, and it's so cute. Like she didn't fight with her over the food. She didn't push her way in. Just sit there and wait.
Aw.
That both cute.
That reminds me of Brady, for instance.
Mhm.
He I don't like Jewel. Jewel's so food motivated.
Yeah.
She will sit next to him and just wait. And she's like, "When's he gonna back?" And he's
Yeah.
so gentle, like, he's never been, food aggressive or anything. And so, I don't like that, though, and so Brady, though, sharing is caring. He takes his food and then drops it on the floor so she can have some, and I'm like, "You've got to be kidding me."
They're Ferdinand. When I called like Ferdinand earlier, did you know what I meant by Ferdinand? Ferdinand the Bull.
No,
There's a children's book.
I've heard of it.
It's about a bull, and he's just this. He's a bull,
Yeah,
burly bull, right?
yeah.
But actually, he likes to go out in the meadow and smoke flowers. And it's a very. I haven't read it in forever, so I'm not going to go into the story because I probably reading a whole bunch of it. But it just talks about how this Ferdinand the Bull
Yeah.
is.
That's what's crazy, like, like, my mom, for instance, she's more afraid of Dola, my 45-pound pit mix, because she than Brady, my big German Shepherd, who, is terrifying looking. It's just so funny.
Yeah, it depends. I prefer a dog that barks because they're letting you know when they're nervous.
Oh, yeah.
Is we've
Yeah.
had fosters who just kinda they might get a little sippy, you might not notice it depending on how much fur they have, but they don't bark, and then if you do something, all of a sudden they snap.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh, you know?
Oh, Dola the thing is Dola has no middle ground, she just barks it.
Uh, got it.
Oh, I can have an episode all about Dola.
Yes.
I won't do that to anyone,
Okay.
but do you say bye to your dogs when you leave your house?
Depends on the dogs. If they have separation anxiety, I don't, because that's one thing that can fuel
I know.
anxiety.
Yeah.
So I don't. But I'll sometimes like practice like going out to the garage. Like if I do have a dog with separation, yeah, and I'll just practice going in and out of the garage and da da da, da and picking. They tell you pick up your keys, put them down, pick up the leash, put it down. I've yep to desensitize.
Mhm.
So I'll do that stuff. But if I in particular have a dog with separation anxiety, I will not. Or like if it stays at like with Tank, he has a little bit of separation anxiety. Fortunately, what he does is he'll go into the trash can in the bathrooms and tear it up, or he'll tear up a toilet paper roll every once in a while.
How he shows his anxiousness?
He gets
That
anxious at
okay,
times to
got
kind of
it.
calm himself, I guess.
Okay.
Um, if my husband is staying home and I'm leaving the house, I'll say goodbye to him. Yeah, if my husband is not, just so I don't amp him up, I don't.
Yeah,
I try not to.
that's smart. I think I'm creating my own problems with my dogs, and actually, none of them have I don't think any of them have separation anxiety.
Yeah. It
God,
can also be like not separation anxiety exactly, but sometimes it could just be we build excitement in them
yeah.
before we like close the curtain.
Well, every time I leave my house,
Yeah.
I go kiss each one on the forehead, and I'm like, "I'll be right back. What? I'll be right back. What? I'll be right back. What?" And I say bye like 13 times. I'm probably making it worse.
Oh, wow. I would be you.
It's probably yeah,
So I
probably something
do
wrong with me.
blackjack here.
Anyway, Megan.
Realization.
I know why I'm single.
I just can fix it. I wanted to talk a little bit about some of my fosters. Yes, they're funny, but we've had a few gems that are just like they make you laugh so hard, and they're so smart too. Like we think of fosters as the mutts that nobody wants. That's like, oh, that is so not the case. So I think I spoke about Blackjack maybe in a previous episode where I talked about this dog who had lived his whole life. He weighed about 45 pounds. He lived his whole life outdoors. So when he came to our home, he wouldn't even walk inside the door because he touched the wood floor and he just didn't know what to do with it. He was very scared. So what we did was we laid out some towels along because we realized when we got him inside, he was fine on the carpet. Yeah, but not on the other flooring. So what we did is on the wood floors, we spread out towels And then we did like a hot dog with little pieces of hot dog train.
Yeah.
And when he got comfortable with going on the towels and you remove the towel and you spread them outside, he'd have to do one step every once in a while on the wood floor. And
Yeah.
so we did this, and it only took a few days for him to pick it up, and then he was fine. So you would think he's like a scaredy cat dog, but he wasn't. He was so good.
Yeah.
He was so he was mostly good. One day, our neighbor's chickens are not supposed to be able to fly over 8 feet.
Oh,
They have an 8-foot fence. They have
supposed to. I know where we're going with it.
right. They had a special chicken that was able to jump over, and Blackjack goes to the chicken, and Tank, not wanting to get in trouble, we have them on video, and Tank sees him go for the chicken, and Tank goes to the other side of the yard, and the chicken was gone in 2 seconds. A 45-pound dog and the chicken, it was over in
Oh, yeah.
a minute. So that was also Blackjack, and then one night before we go to bed, I'm sure many people, you let your dogs out right before you go to bed,
Mhm.
last call, everybody break and everything. So we did all that, and I can't remember if Blackjack went out there and was just distracted and didn't do his business, or he didn't go out at all, whatever, and I'm like, "Whatever," we go to bed, and I hear something going on a little bit later, and I was like, "I think I know what I'm hearing." And I get up to go check. He had to use the bathroom, and what he did is he went in our shower,
Oh, Lord.
and tinkled down the drain. I was like, "That is so much better than on the carpet or and more." It's so
He tried.
who taught him that?
So,
I used Joey. Remember? Yeah. Remember, this is a dog that had never lived indoors before. So it's like, why is really remarkable for a dog
yes, I'd agree.
who has never been in, and I bet you it had something to do with he really knows, not having been allowed indoors, he really knows that pottying is outside.
I gotta get Joel a penis sink. That's what
No.
sink, bath,
Showered,
shower drain,
maybe,
not sink,
not safe,
shower drain. Or just outside.
or just outside.
It's gotten better.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
it's gotten better.
But he came in scared. He immediately showed how smart he was.
Yeah.
And then what I noticed, this was during COVID, I also noticed that I would be in meetings. I had these 2 mirrors on the side of the wall because I was intending to put them in the house. And while I'm on this call, I see him fidgeting alongside me here, and I look over, and he is just crossing his paws and looking at himself in one mirror, and then a second and look at himself in the other mirror. Just and I'm like, "You are so
Vain.
smart."
I'm looking at a vain dog. That's what you're on.
I have him on video just, like, looking at him.
Oh my goodness.
If we had been further along in the foster journey, I think Joey would have had me him.
Yeah.
Joey loved
Oh.
I didn't know until after, like, right as he was getting adopted that Joey had an interest in.
Oh, poor that was convenient.
Yeah,
He was joking.
he was a fun dog.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, I know we were trying to keep this one a little short, so I think we've got to wrap it up. But this was fun. Well, you should definitely throw this in more often. I feel like.
I wanna hear stories from
Yes.
others. I'd
Yeah.
love to hear your funny stories. I've heard some, like, nightmare stories. Send them in, share them. We'd love to have them on the we'd love to, to tell your
Yeah,
stories on the show.
absolutely. So, and you can email us at thebark@lostsavingpaws.org. Visit lostsavingpaws.org. Get hold of us somewhere on there. We are also on Facebook and Instagram. Yeah, you just find us. Just use Google.
Yes.
Yeah,
We're
great.
there. We'd love to hear from you.
Yes, thank you guys so much. We'll catch you next time.